So as mentioned in previous videos, we would be doing a little bit different videos moving forward, and I quite literally fell into the world of junk journaling, and this is what I've come up with. And don't worry, we're still going to be incorporating beads, but I wanted to show you guys what I created. I'm so proud of it. It's my first ever junk journal and my first journal that I've ever made. I've written in journals, but due to my struggles with mental health, I have anxiety and sometimes I've had depression. I had postpartum depression. I started journaling and meditating, and I found that that really helped me. So when I discovered junk journaling, my brain went like, this is so exciting because I can I can get lost into the world of paper crafting, because I used to love to scrapbook, and then I got away from that, as I told you in a previous video. I think I talked about in a previous video. And then I started looking into more crafting videos, because I discovered that while I love beading, I also love just crafting in general, just making beautiful things. I love to bake. So I wanted to bring that more into my videos, into my content for you guys. I hope that, like I mentioned previously, that you'll continue on this journey with me of crafting and creating beautiful things. Right now, it has been paper crafting and it's been junk journaling. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've done to create this junk journal. And then I will show you how I'm going to incorporate this month's Potomac Beads Best Bead Box beads. That is a mouthful, and I'm glad I only had to say it once. How I'm going to incorporate the beads from this month in this lovely journal. You know what's really weird? It's almost like it was meant to be, or some sort of synchronicity that I am not aware of, because the beads that are included in this month's box goes so well with the colors that I use for this journal. It's so creepy, you guys. So I think it's a sign from the universe telling me that I'm on the right path, because I really enjoyed making this. It was very cathartic. Is that the word I want to use? It was really cathartic making this video. Making this journal. I spent hours on it, and I would just get lost. I'd go to bed like super late working on it. So I'm just going to take you through little parts that I've done to make it. If you want to continue, I want to continue to bring you different types of journal, different types of paper crafting right now. And of course, as always, incorporating beads here and there. But I want to show you what I did with this. And let me know in the comments below if you want to continue seeing more of this type of video, the things that I create. I found this lady, or this Etsy shop, that makes paper crafting purses. They're so adorable, and I just wanted to make one and a video for you guys. So again, I want to share all that stuff with you guys. I'm super excited. I'm happy to be creating new things for my channel, and as always, I am going to ask that you please subscribe so that I can continue to make these kind of videos, that you subscribe and you hit that like button so that the algorithm knows to keep showing my video to other people that enjoy the same things. So without further ado, I'm gonna show you guys how I created this, well, little bits and pieces, because I was a little bit shy. I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I'm just totally in the wrong direction. But I love the way it turned out. So again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this junk journal, if you like paper crafting. I know Joey from Joey's Jewelry. Go check her channel out. She's really cool. I know she said she was into paper crafting too. So I'm thinking a lot of people are like me. Oh, at least I hope so. So again, I'm going to shut up now. Let me go show you what I made, or how I made this lovely new journal. I'm so happy with it. All right, let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to be walking you through what I did to create this journal. I'm not going to talk through the entire part of this video, because I'll let you enjoy some of the music I chose for it. Hopefully you like the music I chose for this part of the video. So I wanted this junk journal to have 3 signatures. Now, if you're new to the whole world of junk journaling, you'll have no idea what I mean when I say signature. A signature is basically a set of pages nested inside one of the other to create one small section of the journal. As you can see here, I have 3 sections, basically 3 signatures, and each of these sections will be sewn into the cover of my junk journal. I created the cover using fabric from Dollar Tree. And if you're in the US, then for sure you've seen that they carry in their craft section pieces of fabric, and the fabric is kind of rolls. I'm not sure how many yards you get, but I found a jean piece of fabric and I used that to cover this journal because the digital papers that I purchased for this journal are grunge, the grunge style, and so I thought the jean would be perfect, and then I added the doily on top and made it look vintage. So the sky is the limit with your imagination on how you cover your junk journal. I used an old book and then I covered it up with the papers and with the fabric, and then as you can see here, the signatures are comprised of pretty much any types of paper, vintage papers, postcards, or vellum. I didn't use vellum in this case. Coffee dyed paper, or the doilies. I coffee dyed the doilies. I had some of that accounting paper that I also coffee dyed. Here I made a little pocket. You can sew your papers. I mean, there's just so much fun that there's so much fun to be had when creating a junk journal, especially if you enjoy paper crafting. Here I printed off an old vintage style flower looking paper, and then I ended up cutting it up and then also adding it to one of the signatures of my junk journal. Also super fun. You can print out, there's so many digital kits and junk journal kits that you can buy on Etsy, and you can print those papers once you pay. I mean, they're anywhere between, the most I've paid I think is like $8 for a full vintage junk journal set, and then you can those papers are yours. You can print them over and over. Of course you cannot resell those paper designs, but you can definitely use them over and over in all your journals. So you can see here I'm just cutting the paper down to size, and then I'm going to be adding it to one of the journals. I kind of went around trying to distribute the papers evenly between coffee dyed paper, between the doilies, the music paper. Oh, that's another fun one that you can find at vintage stores. You can find music paper, add that to your junk journal. It's just, like I said, the sky is the limit, you guys. There's so much you can add. Here what I did was I took an old book and then I tore it up in little pieces. Trust me, the book was falling apart. So it was a vintage book. I took it apart and I kind of pieced it back together. If you don't like to see books taken apart, then just skip this part. Please don't be mad at me. But what I did was I took pieces of it and then I basically decoupaged. I didn't use any. I'm thinking about going back and covering it with some decoupage glue, but here I'm just using my glue stick to cover all the pieces of this paper. And then what I'm going to do is, you'll see in a minute here, I'm just kind of putting it, piecing it, figuring out what looks nice to make it look kind of antique-y and collage. Collage-y? Is that even a word? Collage-y? And then once I have that, oh, I found another little piece here that I had to glue in because I wanted the original print. You'll see it when I turn it around. The original print I printed on printer paper, so it was pretty thin. So I wanted to bring something interesting, something visually interesting, and I saw this tutorial on YouTube. Again, the junk journal YouTube tutorials are unreal. So much to learn, so much to get inspiration. And I saw one, I can't think of her name right now, I'm so sorry, but she put all these pieces of antique paper together, or pieces of book, and then she stamped it, and it looks so cool, you guys. You'll see me here as I'm stamping. I bought all these stamps on Temu. If you want to look back into my previous, I think it's my previous video, I will link it as well, but it's my Temu video, so you can see all the stamps that I purchased, and they are so pretty. Look at how this one looks. See? Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love it. And then I didn't want to waste the ink, so I was just kind of stamping little ghosts stamps so that it would have, like I said, more dimension, more interest to this piece of paper that I had put together with pages of an old book. You'll see the stamps are pretty new, but I'm having so much fun. Like I said, I spent hours and it didn't even feel like hours. Before I knew it, it was midnight and I was still going here. So if you haven't tried junk journaling, if you're interested in paper crafts, I definitely recommend you give it a try. It is so much fun. And then once the book is done, I'll be able to add my own memories, my own, because that's, I think, a big part of junk journaling, to add your own memories in there, I don't know, concert tickets, movie tickets, anything to record your life and your maybe, little kids. Oh my gosh, I love this bug. Look at it. Check it out. Isn't that cool? That is, I thought that what, I don't know if it's a bee or a moth, but it looks so cool on there, you guys. And I like the antique writing. I know there's some stamps by Tim Holtz that are pretty cool, but they're not that affordable. So maybe eventually. Right now I have spent all my money, I think, on these kind of stamps and inks and distressing inks. I mean, it just goes on for real. And that's right, I spent a ton of money too on digital papers. They're cheap, but there's so many out there that you just can't help buying one and another design. And okay, so here are the edges. I'm inking the edges to make it look vintage. Again, it's just so much fun to add all this dimension to this collage. So just making it look antique. Oh, and then like I was saying, I want to go back and add maybe some Mod Podge, because when I was paging through the book, the little pages, even though they're glued on with a glue stick, there's little edges that kind of lift up. So I might still go back in there and apply some Mod Podge to make sure everything's glued down nicely. See, look at, there's the design on the back. As you can see, that printed out those beautiful, what are they, pansies, I believe. There's this website called, I think it's Digital Fairy. Totally recommend it. You can find all sorts of these beautiful images for free, or you can pay for a subscription. Of course, I'm paying for the subscription because I want all the images. So as you can see, you'll be seeing more of that in upcoming videos. I'm just getting it now. I'm just folding it down to size. And then I thought, you know what? I have this little edge left over. And you'll see what I do with it in just a minute. Oh, and that's the other thing that I forgot to mention. You can sew, or I think I did mention, you can sew on these papers. Never imagined you could sew on a piece of paper. Thought maybe it would just tear it to shreds. But no. I've watched so many YouTubers sew in their junk journals. And it looks so cool. As you can see here, I point out, look at, I got done sewing it. Here, that edge turned out kind of iffy, but maybe I'll just cover it up with one side. That's why I highlighted it with my finger. And then using double-sided tape. That's the other thing I've been investing in. Glues, and more glues, because each glue has a different use for different, I don't know, the different uses for different projects, I guess. Just kind of like Mod Podge is for collaging. Double-sided tape is perfect for that, so that you can leave spaces for pockets. And now I have a little pocket. Now I have to find, in one of my signatures, find and see the perfect place to put this new little creation of mine. Like I said, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but the sky is the limit on what you can do. I have really enjoyed also dyeing coffee paper. My husband's like, "What are you doing with our printer paper?" And once he figured out what I was using for, then he was like, "Okay, that's cool." They've even, and then you can also use these paper bags. These I found at Dollar Tree, and I glued down this little flap. But I wanted to show you how I put this together. It's so cool. So I found some, I took some of those printed digital papers, kind of measured it out, because, you have all these little pieces and bits left over from other parts of the journal. And why not? Why not create tags and tucks and flaps and folds? Oh my gosh, there's so much. And that's my junk journal. I'll show you in the end how it turned out, but it's nowhere near done. There's still going to be a lot more that I want to add to it. It's just that this video would have been probably 3 hours long, and it took me long enough to get it out for you guys. So I had to be recording in little bits and pieces, and even this voiceover was recorded at the end. So I figured if I add more stuff to my junk journal, I'm never going to have this video up. It's going to be up in like by the summer. And here I'm trying to figure out what other papers I can use. Oh, and then this digital kit, that's the other fun part about digital kits. They come with like little accessories, so to speak. They're ephemera. I always say that wrong. They come with ephemera pages. So ephemera is basically just like souvenirs. I don't know how to explain ephemera, but it's souvenirs. It's little bits and bobs that you can add to your junk journal, like tags or little mini envelopes, or well, mainly tags, but like little collages or little pockets with different antique vintage papers. Here I'm using my scoreboard, another recent investment. I'm using my scoreboard to fold the papers. I think I'm folding them backwards. You're supposed to fold them the other way, but hey, I'm learning. So you can get any advice that you have if you're an experienced junk journaler, any advice you have for me watching me muddle through this, then definitely leave it down below. Help me out here. But I assure you, I don't even know, I'm probably almost in the hundreds hours of watching how people create junk journals by now. Here, this is another I want to call it like technique that you use in junk journaling. They're called belly bands. And what you do is you just take a long sheet of paper, like, or I don't know, a piece of vintage paper like I'm doing right now. And what you do is you put it around a longer piece of paper, one of the sheets. It's basically what it sounds like. It's a band around a piece of paper. And why, you ask, this is done? Well, because it holds other things. That way you can just slide other tags or journaling cards in and out. And I apologize if I'm stuttering. This is not scripted. I am just looking at what I'm doing and I'm talking to you guys about it. Just kind of like talking to a friend and explaining what I'm doing. So I didn't want to go through and keep editing even my voiceovers. Otherwise, again, this video would have been out next month or probably next summer. So I decided that I wanted it more centered, it looks like here. So this is the belly band, and then I glued it onto the paper bag. I love these paper bags because you can actually make mini journals out of paper bags. I've seen a ton of tutorials of those on YouTube, and if you want me to make a paper bag mini journal, then also let me know. There's also file folders that they use to make mini journals. Oh my gosh, so much. I can go on and on forever. All right, so here, what am I doing? Oh, I realized that this paper bag was too long. It would stick out of my journal pages. So what I did was all I did was cut it down with my X-Acto knife. If I can get my X-Acto knife to work. I need a better one. Amazon. And then I did the inking of the edge with it to kind of get that vintage look again. And now what I did was I have this tag reinforcer. I did end up buying, again, another investment, some circle punches. See how the belly band goes? You can put little things in there. But I bought circle punches so that the edges look like people know that they're actually pockets. Here I ripped another piece of the digital paper, and then it's going to turn it into a pocket. I stamped another piece of that vintage book. I just put a bunch of stamps on it, and then I glued it on the outside of the paper bag. And now I just added this cute little pocket to it. I tore up, see, as you can see there, I tore up the digital paper, I sewed it, and then inked the edges, and then I tore up this little butterfly because I wanted it to open up like a little booklet as well. Took some washi tape. Oh my gosh, washi tape, another investment. Thank goodness I purchased a box of washi tapes, because you do go through a lot of washi tape. Say that. I know I just watched a tutorial also on how to make your own washi tape. So once I get the hang of that, you guys will be seeing a tutorial on making your own washi tape using glassine paper. I thought it was a super cool way to do it. So I will share that with you guys too in an upcoming video. Apologize if you hear dishes rattling in the background. My daughter is home for spring break, so usually quiet during the day, but she's rustling up herself some lunch, I think. So I'm taking the washi tape and flipping it over, you know, just I'm still going to use glue because the washi tape is not, as you know, it's pretty light on the sticky side. It's not really that sticky, which is useful in a lot of situations, but in this case I really wanted it to stay. And then you can also use, guess what, you know, all that the junk mail that you hate so much. Well, guess what, you can turn it into adorable ephemera. I was gonna say it wrong again. Did you catch that? But you can turn it into ephemera, you guys, to put into your journal. This is so cool. And you'll see here how I took half of one of these. Probably got an offer for a free credit card, or I don't know, some loan offer that all these, it just drives me nuts with the waste of paper. But guess what, now we can do something fun with them. And so what you do here, I just cut it in half and use the window part of it to create this little piece of ephemera. I'm saying it, I'm getting the hang of it, I'm saying it a lot better now. There we go. As you know, I am bilingual in Spanish and English, and it's when you're full 100% bilingual in both languages, your mind kind of can get twisted and you start thinking in English or Spanish, and it just, sometimes that's why I say things in a funny way. So I apologize. So here I'm just covering it with pieces of digital paper that I printed out. I found some digital kits where you can print out vintage looking papers, like bills, receipts, old letters. There's so much, you guys, on Etsy. You definitely have to go check it out. And there's French papers, you know, like or antique script. I just can't even list all the items you can find. Oh, and then I took one of the little pieces of the kit. They have, like I said, these little ephemeral pieces that you can just cut out. They're also called fussy cuts, I learned. So you fussy cut, I'm like, what is fussy cut? Well, it's because it takes you, it's a lot of fuss to cut it, basically. You have to cut around it so that it can be fussy. And here I'm just gonna have this image here peeking through. That tablet that you saw was from Temu. They have these really cool, you know, vintage looking paper pads. So one thing I also discovered that I really enjoy is not having to grab my scissors all the time. I can just use my ruler and it'll leave like sort of like a jagged edge. It won't be just a straight harsh cut. When you cut it like this, it leaves like a fun, like slightly, not big time, because there are rulers out there that make it look like you tore a piece of paper. But this one, when you cut the paper like this, it still has like a more natural edge, I guess is what I could call it. It's not so slashed hard like a guillotine. So see, you can take this and have a little image peeking out through the window. And then I finished decorating the top of this envelope. I had, again, so much fun doing this, and I can't wait to make many more. I think I'm just gonna take and make them in mass so that I have them ready to go for other journals. you know, different styles, different colors, different decorations, and all using those dreaded junk mail pieces, envelopes. Of course, I'm going to take my Tim Holtz Distress ink and ink up the pages or the edges, again, to make it look vintagey. Is that even a word, vintagey? But to make them look antique, add some dimension to the pages. I love the cute junk journals that I've seen, but honestly, I think my style is going to be a little more vintage, not so much cutesy. I do have even an Alice in Wonderland junk journal project coming up that I'm going to start working on, and even that I think it's like a grunge Alice in Wonderland or a steampunk Alice in Wonderland design that I chose over the cutesy Alice in Wonderland. I love the way they designed those papers, and I can't wait to show them to you guys. But like I said, I think my style of junk journaling is going to be more on the vintage old French paper, you know, just a grungy type of designs, and you'll see that more and more, you know, in videos, upcoming videos. What is your style? Do you like the cutesy? Now, when I say cutesy, I'm talking Disney. I'm talking bright, bold colors, bold lines. Me, I like this design. I like being able to put together these old papers and make the junk journal, like, make it look like it's been around for years or decades. And of course, we gotta ink up those edges. And I decided to put this lovely piece of ephemera onto the back part of the paper bag little pocket that I created. So you'll be able to have the pockets, put in journaling cards in it, and then you'll be able to journal on this piece. I found these paper packs at Dollar Tree as well, and oh my gosh, I forgot to mention it, but now that I think about it, I should have pointed it out as you were watching. These big there's just they sell these packs of just pieces of paper, probably leftovers from other things. I don't even know where they would grab them, but then they sell them in these paper packs at Dollar Tree, and I grabbed like 2 or 3. They're perfect, you guys, for making cards and tags, and like I did right now, adding them to pieces of ephemera for your junk journal. Totally recommend, if you go to Dollar Tree, look for those paper packs. They almost look like handmade papers. They look like vintage. Okay, so here I'm gonna pay attention now, but here I tacked this down. What I did was I took a piece of paper, measured it, made it the size of the spine, and then folded it in half and then in thirds. As you can see here, I'm going to take my awl and start punching holes into the spine. I was like worried that I was going all the way through the paper, through the table. But as you can see here, I'm using my self-healing mat. But I just start I start punching in each little corner. And it makes, when you fold the paper like that, it makes even corners that you know exactly where to punch your holes. I don't know if that's making sense. If you want me to do more detailed tutorial on that, then let me know and I'll show you exactly how I folded the paper. But I hope that somewhat makes sense. And so I'm just making sure that I went all the way through the spine. because now what we're going to do is sew in our signatures once I gathered all the papers that I wanted up until now, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of souvenirs, memories, everything added to my first junk journal. Here I'm taking this signature, and I'm taking that same little folded piece of paper so I know exactly where to punch my holes that will match up exactly with the spine of the journal. With the spine of the cover of the journal, I mean. And it's just going to be 3. That's the other thing, when using different size papers, make sure that you are placing them exactly where you can at least get 2 punches, so that your piece of paper that you have in your signature is not kind of flopping around. Then I took one of these large hole needles with some, I think it's Irish wax linen cord. And you just take 3, you go 3 lengths of the spine of the signature. And that is enough to do it. What do they call it? I'm so sorry. I should know this by now. It's a 3-hole stitch. Pretty sure I might have said that wrong, but that's what I'm pretty sure that they call it. Let me know in the comments if you're an experienced junk journaler. But it's what I'm pretty sure that's what they call it, a 3-hole stitch. And then what I did was I just took some washi tape to pin that down so it's not flopping around, and I don't pull out the other side by accident. Washi tape is good. It's a good thing. Now I need to find a source for all my washi tape. There is the washi tape shop, or the washi shop. I will link that below so you guys can check it out. And they sell, of course, tons and tons of washi tape. But you can also find it on Temu. Temu has tons of washi tape as well. Sadly, the Dollar Tree does not have as much washi tape as I wish they would, but hopefully maybe in the future, because they're starting to stock more and more items. Stock more items for this type of craft, I mean. Because I have found stamps and stencils. Oh my gosh, that's the other one, stencils, you guys. I need more stencils. Okay, so here, as you can see, I am sewing it into the spine of my book. Well, of my book cover. One thing they say is that you have to make sure that you don't split the cord that you're going through, because you have to come back up through the center again. So you're meeting up with the original cord end. So make sure you're not splitting your cord, otherwise you weaken the cord and it will break. It'll snap. So I'm making sure to stay clear of one of the cords. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not splitting it with my needle. I can do this. It's not easy. Especially when I have that doily on there to try to find the hole. I had to kind of blindly figure out where the hole was. Then go back through the signature, back up. And then make sure everything's nice and tight. Oop, washi tape. And I just did a double knot. When you use, the nice thing about Irish wax linen cord is that the knots really stay in place. They don't slip out easily. And again, I just did, like I said, a double knot. One over the other, and then the other over the other, kind of backwards. If that makes any sense at all. So now what I'm going to do is make sure everything is nice and tight. And end, cut one end off, and then the other end, I left it longer for the next fun item for my journal. So I'm going to go in and sew the other two signatures and be right back. Okay, you guys, this is my first junk journal. I had so much fun making it. As you saw, a little bit of the process, how I went making each part. It's consisting of 3 signatures that I sewn in. As you can see here, it's my first signature the signatures that I sew into a journal. I hope it's the first of many. I made lots of little, as I was explaining, lots of little pockets, and I hope to keep adding on to it and adding some pictures and memorabilia and more of my thoughts into it. So I know this one is going to be super special. I do want to make some more, but this one is going to be super special for me because it's my first journal. So what do you guys think? I also left these little strands here on the bottom because now we're going to make some room. We're going to set this aside so I can show you the new box for March for the Potomac Beads box. I apologize to Potomac Beads. I'm a little bit late on this, but it's still for March and we are still within the month of March. You have no idea how many times I've repeated this phrase. So I'm super excited to show you guys what's in here and how we're going to be using the beads in here that are for things that are not specifically for jewelry. They're going to be part of my junk journal. So super excited. Let me show you guys what's in here. And this one is called Earthen Serenity. The Treasure Edition bead box includes all these different types of beads, and you've got, the list of everything that you get. It gives you the theme, and this, like I said, its month is Earthen Serenity. Earthen Serenity. Oh my gosh. Hope I'm saying this right. But that's weird because my journal, and I did not do this on purpose. I started this journal before I opened this box. And it seems like it's got a lot of earth tones, a lot of vintage. So this is like I said, it's kind of serendipitous. You guys let me know if I'm saying these phrases correctly. But we've got, it looks like some bead wax linen cord here to play with. And I have this big, I bought some of these huge, what do you call these? Why can't I remember the name? These huge paper clips that I have here. And this one is going to be the bookmark for my junk journal. So I'm going to be dressing up this guy. But let me just show you really quickly. We've got all these lovely beads to work with. We do have some lovely ear wires to, I have an idea of making, the beads for my junk journal, like dressing it up with some fun beads, but at the same time making some earrings or a bracelet that could match my little journal so that I am coordinating at the same time. I know that might sound corny. Look at that. Isn't that perfect? Look at this. Oh, I'm telling you guys, it is freaky deaky. Some coffee beans. I mean, who loves the coffee? And then I've got these lovely green. Are they hearts? Yeah, they're little hearts. Then peridot. We've got these lovely little cubes. Oh, look at this mix. We've got mix, which is perfect. I love it. And we've got these metal little beads in here, and these little. These are the V beads. We've got some lovely. Look at this. Check this blue out, you guys. Check it out. Check it out. Look at this. Tell me it's not meant to be. That is so creepy, you guys. That is so creepy. I swear to God, I did not make this. I started creating my junk journal just as a flow. I thought, oh, it'd be fun to have a jean fabric cover. And then I thought, when I was shopping at Hobby Lobby, I found these lovely flowers, and I'm like, they match my, my jean journal cover perfectly. And now look at this. The color of the flower matches the beads in this box. So it means that, thank you so much to Potomac Beads for sending me this box. It's like the perfect match made in heaven. And we've got these lovely cubes, these fun big faceted beads. We've got a big strand of these browns, and look at this. It looks like they've got a bit of we've got like a Picasso finish on these little ones. So as I said, and then you know what I want to do? Stay tuned, because I want to decorate a box to hold, check this out, to hold my junk journal stuff. These are perfect. You guys, I'm gonna set, yes, I do get a small compensation at no cost, extra cost to you if you click on the link below. I really appreciate it. It supports my channel, so truly, truly appreciate it. It helps me bring more content to you guys. But look, I got all these lovelies because my next journal, I want to make it. Drum roll, please. I want to make my next journal either mushrooms or fairies. I've got my next journal already in mind. But look at, I've put all these little cuts in here. Look at these. Aren't they lovely? They had a sale at Hobby Lobby. And so I went and grabbed a bunch of these little like cuts, die cuts. Look at the teapot. Isn't that adorable? So, but guess what? My box here that I had my lovely beads from Potomac Beads it works perfectly to hold my little, my little cutouts, and it can hold stickers and all sorts of fun stuff for your journals, not just for your beads. So it's a match made in heaven, and my dream, and I think I'm going to film a video like this. So stay tuned. You want to subscribe. Recommend hitting that subscribe button so you can see how I decorate this lovely box with maybe some clay, some mixed media. Oh my gosh, my ideas are just flowing, and I'm super excited to do that as well. So stay tuned for that. So what I was thinking is that I left the centers of these. You can do that if you want. You can cut them short, but when I was doing my signatures, I left some cord left. I mean, they did give us some cord here, which is going to be perfect to decorate my bookmark, aka my paper clip that now I don't know where I left, aka bookmark. I'm going to grab one of my small little squares, my little jewelry beading squares. They're both dirty. I gotta throw these in the washer. I apologize for that. They get so dirty, you guys. Are you able to keep yours clean? Probably better than me, but I do all sorts of beading and everything else. So anyway, let's start with the bookmark. So I'm just going to quickly go through this. And what colors do I want? No, I want the cream color, because there's not black. Even though it is kind of a grungy, I did use some grungy papers in this one, but I want to do this. So let's see. I'm gonna grab, how much do I want to stick out from my thingy-my-bobber here? So I do want those beads to stick out. So if I have my journal, let's see. So, I got this really cool ruler that tells you exactly to the millimeter what's what, because I can never figure it out trying to count. You move this to the side for now, but let's see, I cut 40 inches. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to do the same for this one. So I cut 40 inches. So now I'm just going to cut the same amount, and let's see, there we go. All right, set that aside. What I want to do is I'm going to cut it. Cut it in half. Some of them, one side I'll make longer than the other side, and then this one in half again, like that. Okay. So just gonna grab these guys here. This I'm gonna put at the end of here. I'll cut the ends in just a minute. I just want to get it onto here, like so. Now we can cut the ends, and it's okay if some are longer than the others. See, so just cut as much as you want. There. So now we have our strings here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab, you know what, I'm going to grab from here, since we've got this huge bead mix here. So I'm going to start stringing each here. I'm not going to bore you with watching the whole thing, but just going to whatever fits on these guys. So just kind of make a mix of, I don't know if the holes will be big enough. You know, you just pick out a mix that you want. But the good thing is that all the colors that in this mix are set for you. So all you have to do is string them on. You can of course do some knotting if you want to do knotting. I don't. Look at how pretty this one is. So, for example, see? And it doesn't have to be, it can be as many or as little as you want, and then you just tie a little knot. I might do a double just to make sure that my beads are in there. So I did 2 little knots. So if one doesn't catch, the other one will. The whole purpose was to make one big knot, but that's all right. All right, so I'm going to keep working on these guys, and I will be right back. I am done, and as you can see, I put these lovely beads at the end of this junk journal. And then here is the bookmark for my junk journal. So basically the way you can use it is if you're anywhere in whatever place you're in your junk journal, you can, I hope I didn't make it too, but I really wanted it to be nice and full. So you just put it like that, and look at that, you've got all these lovely beads just hanging there in as part of your junk journal. Maybe I went a little too crazy, but they're so lovely. Look at how pretty they are with the shells, and then these little little small ones. So another thank you to Potomac Beads for sending me this box. It's absolutely perfect. It matched my junk journal perfectly for this month. And stay tuned for my next videos where I show you how to make more of these junk journals. And like I said, I wanted to decorate one of the boxes to save all my junk journal goodies. Thank you so much if you've watched until now. And without further ado, I'm going to leave you with the last month's best bead box right here for you guys to check out. And I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye.